want to wish all of you a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you joining us from around the world. And thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for giving us an hour of your time for this overview webinar for the Wharton School's upcoming online program, Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact. We are so thrilled and honored to have Melissa Graham, one of our incredible program leaders, on the line with us today. Melissa, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Greetings, everyone, and welcome. As a program leader at Wharton, a little bit about me. I've spent the past 20 plus years working in a spectrum of industries, from not-for-profits to large C corporations, tribal and local governments, higher education, manufacturing, and more. And I've served as a CFO, a CEO, and a COO in different business sectors, including higher education. And I'm excited to share my experiences and knowledge with you. I've earned an executive MBA in strategic leadership, a Master of Finance degree, and I'm currently completing my doctorate in business administration.
Fantastic, Melissa. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your time and expertise with us. And just so you all know, friends, my name is Mark Linehan, and I'm facilitating today's webinar from just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. So I'll be moving things along as we work through these amazing modules and talk about this incredible course offered through the Wharton School, which why learn Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact through Wharton Online? Why learn this course through Wharton? Well, let's first talk a little bit more about Wharton. The Wharton School is not only one of the best business schools in the world, it also happens to be the first business school. It was the first collegiate business school founded in 1881 through a generous donation by Mr. Joseph Wharton, the magnate behind the famous Bethlehem Steel. And the Wharton School, which is part of the famed Ivy League University of Pennsylvania, is recognized all around the world, both for its intellectual leadership and its ongoing innovation across every major discipline of business education. Wharton is thrilled to boast that it has one of the most published faculties of any business school. And with that, combined with its broad global community, Wharton is creating economic and social value all around the world. At any given time, Wharton has about 5,000 students spread, full-time synchronous students spread out throughout its undergraduate MBA, executive MBA, like Melissa, and doctoral students. There's more than 13,000 participants in its executive education programs every year, and it has a powerful alumni network of almost 100,000 graduates spread out all over the world. And with more than 50 online programs like this one from which you can choose, more than 3 million learners like you all around the world have accessed Wharton online programming taught by Wharton's world-class faculty. So we hope that you become a part of that more than 3 million strong, larger global online Wharton family. And we hope that you will enrich your lives and your career with this course offered through Wharton. And nothing better captures the spirit of Wharton than this quote right here from our Dean Erica James, who just celebrated her 2-year anniversary of Wharton. She took over in July of 2020. But today's environment means you can't afford to simply respond to or manage change. The best businesses must anticipate change and even intentionally create change so as not to become complacent. And at Wharton, we are excited to be the partner to help you get there. So if you believe that your business and your career can't simply wait to simply respond to or manage change, but needs to anticipate or even intentionally create change, then you are in the right place. And to take us through these modules, to take us through this amazing program, where it came from, the environment which is taught, introduce you to the professor, I am now going to hand things over to the incomparable Melissa Graham. So Melissa, take it away.
Thank you so much. So in today's rapidly changing markets, key variables from like supply chain and technology to product development and strategic partnerships, these all add multiple layers of complexity to the already volatile landscape. We've all experienced this volatile landscape in just the last few years with the global pandemic, but even before then with all the financial crises and just all those macroeconomic factors that impact the economies that we're in. And this requires mature organizations to chart a path for the future by considering the effects of these variables, what they can have on their organization, while also assessing their capabilities for innovation and developing those roadmaps for strategies that maintain their competitive edge. So they must also recognize the importance of creating strategic alliances that can enhance their innovative efforts, and overall success. This program is designed to help business leaders such as yourself and executives such as yourself learn to build such an innovative ecosystem, one that's focused on the strategic objectives for their organization and leveraging the technological partnerships. As a participant, you'll learn the best practices for managing both strategy and innovation through real-world examples drawn from organizations such as Tesla, Boeing, Walmart, and a myriad of other case studies. Just some fun facts for you. 84% of executives believe that their future success will be dependent on innovation. We've seen such a huge array of innovation come out just from the last 20 years. So what's going to be coming out in the next future, and how are you going to be a part of that? 73% of leaders who said that they are committed to innovation can deliver the desired volume of new products and services while also doubling up their revenues versus 48% of other organizations. And finally, 17% of innovative organizations can invest in growth initiatives throughout the economic cycle, generate nearly 17% higher total returns to the shareholders. Pretty interesting, and you could be a part of this learning. So let's look at who's going to be teaching this program. This program is led by Dr. Harbir Singh, and Dr. Singh is the Mack Professor of Management, and he's also the co-director of the Mack Institute for Innovative Management, and is a faculty director of the Huntsman Program for International Studies and Business at the Wharton School. He is committed to global business research and education and has served as a vice dean for global initiatives. And Dr. Singh focuses on the development of world-class capabilities and of sustainable competitive advantage. His main interests in research and teaching lie in three different areas: strategic leadership, growth and innovation via like alliances and acquisitions, and evolution of competitive strategy. Dr. Singh has won multiple awards for outstanding research and strategic management at the Academy of Management, in addition to awards for teaching. And he received the the Academy of International Business Decade Award for his co-authored work on determinants of modes of entry by multinational firms into the new country markets. He was also chair of the Business Policy and Strategy Division of the Academy of Management and is the former dean of the Fellows of the Strategic Management Society. He is an author of several books on strategy and leadership in the global setting as well. Dr. Singh has created this program for you, and it's all you need to know for driving strategic innovation and leading those complex initiatives for impact. So let's go ahead and look at the next slide here. This is what you're going to take away from the program. With this world-class leadership at the helm, Wharton is going to be rolling this out for you and to make sure that you get the most out of this program. And throughout this program, you'll learn to balance exploration and exploitation as part of an organizational strategy. You'll discover strategies to drive innovation within your organization. You're going to elevate commercializing technology innovation through partnerships, gain an understanding of innovative ecosystems and learn how to successfully manage them, explore open innovative models and application, and also examine large-scale innovation, implementation, and management within organizations. So who is this program for? So with the next slide here, this is the program for you. This program is designed for business leaders and professionals across industries seeking to understand the commercialization of technology solutions, to learn how to drive successful strategic initiatives in their department or in your whole entire organization. Expand your knowledge of the large-scale innovation and implementation and management, and then learn about the ecosystem approach to innovation in business. And there's actually 6 modules, and each week is a different module. And so the first module here is developing and driving strategy. So you'll learn how to create, build, strengthen, and maintain your competitive advantage. And with this, there are different initiatives. You have identified characteristics of the framework for successful strategy. You'll recognize the elements and success stories of driving initiatives, discuss key factors in developing and driving strategic initiatives, examine strategy choices for reaching business objectives, and then use the strategy playbook framework to analyze the strength of a current or previous project strategy. So having that theory to practice is one of the things that Wharton excels in. You can read about and watch the videos in this asynchronous course, but then having those case studies in this playbook to be able to then put it to practice is just, you can't put a price on that. It's just amazing. In module 2, we shift over to balancing exploitation and exploration. This is where you discover how your organization can evolve its capabilities to remain successful and relevant in a rapidly changing environment. We've all seen that. You know, maybe your company has even reinvented itself in the last few years and how you do business. So you'll be able to identify the key characteristics of an ambidextrous organization. You'll be able to review the risk factors of and solutions for high-tech commoditization, discuss how organizations balance preparing for the future with investing the present, identify potential challenges of making an organization ambidextrous, and then also examine the elements and assessment metrics of an exploratory initiative for your organization. So then we move on to module 3. So in week 3, you're going to start talking about partnering to commercialize technology. And we're going to recognize how partnerships can bring value to both organizations and enable joint development that neither could be or could have be obtained alone. So then you'll be able to identify those key concepts of partnering to commercialize technology, explain how partnerships are formed, and evaluate how they evolve over time. Organizations from 20 years ago, 30 years ago are no longer the same organizations that they are today because of those partnerships. We're going to discuss how partners overcome challenges to drive success and also examine partnerships in your organization or industry, once again, returning to that strategic playbook. And in the module 4, we're going to start talking about successfully managing innovation ecosystems. And you may be familiar with ecosystems already, but in this context, it's really, really interesting. We're going to really explore the concept of innovation ecosystems and learn how setting up the right network of partnerships contributes to innovation and success. We're going to identify attributes of successful and unsuccessful ecosystems. We're going to discuss how organizations participate in ecosystems of relationships with partners to create new products. We're going to examine how using networks of relationships can support innovation. And finally, compare examples of ecosystems in your industry to those presented in the material. Week 5, we're going to open innovation on how organizations source ideas. So when you have this bundle of ideas, what do you do with them? How do you get more, building upon that body of knowledge? We're going to examine the successful open innovation efforts of leading global organizations and learn how they manage the process. We're going to identify externally sourced technology solutions and how they can be added to internally developed ideas. We're also going to recognize the importance of time to market and new technology adoption. We're going to examine how open innovation drives new ideas within organizations, and we're going to explain how to effectively manage the balance between external and internal innovation in your organization. So this is a 6-week program with 6 modules. So the module 6 is going to be the organizational innovation and societal influence. So we're going to learn how a large-scale initiative can have implications not only on your organization, but also for outside stakeholders and partners and the community and society as a whole. We're going to discuss the issues involved in balancing sustainability with profitability. identify the 3 horizons within an organization, summarize driving strategic innovation and initiatives for execution, and finally finish up with synthesized concepts of innovation and complex projects via a final capstone project. So what's great about this program also is that Dr. Singe brings in case studies to help participants connect theory and concepts to practice. And with these case studies, they help you support your learning journey. So we look at case studies with Boeing and Tesla, and we're talking about innovation. How did they change the landscape and the climate for technology, for instance, for online purchasing? We look at Walmart as an example. We look at Pfizer and Warner Lambert. We look at Lego. How fun is that? Nokia, and you kind of think back like, Nokia, are they even existing anymore? And Procter and Gamble and BP. So there's some great case studies that look at the positives and the negatives, like what companies did right with innovation and which ones did not succeed. So back to Mark, we will start talking about what this journey looks like for you.
Melissa, thank you so much for that. Let me tell you a little bit about how you will learn. So your program experience, you will find that this is a dynamic and engaging program. No matter how you prefer to learn as an adult learner, you will be engaged at different points throughout this program. So a few things that I want to emphasize as we go around. So at the very top left, you see what is referred to as discussion boards. Well, the discussion boards, that is a way that you can actually communicate with the other members of your cohort. And those discussion boards are managed and moderated by your program leader. And the program leader will also be giving you personalized feedback on your assignments and also holding live office hours. So in a traditional on-campus synchronous academic environment, a program leader is like a TA, like a teaching assistant, someone who is the one who's giving you a lot of face time. And so that is happening through those live office hours, through the feedback on your assignments, and through these moderated discussion boards where you and your cohort can be discussing everything you're learning. You can leave messages for each other. So no matter what time zone you're in, those discussion boards are an enriching way where you can all make the program better for each other. So you're also going to be, that's what we refer to as cohort-based learning. You really will feel like you are part of a class. You really will feel like you're part of a learning group. Our esteemed faculty are going to be giving you presentations through video lectures. And there are also going to be 1 or 2 live faculty sessions during this program. And this will all cap off with that capstone project where every module you're going to be adding a little bit to it to have this capstone project that you can take with you into your present and future careers and really demonstrate, take it with you and apply what you're learning immediately to your firm or to your organization right now. Now, some of you might have also seen knowledge checks there and said to yourself, uh-oh, that sounds like tests. That sounds like quizzes. I didn't like testing when I was in school. I want you to think of the knowledge checks as another form of support, because the whole point of this program is that you be able to apply it immediately to your present and future career, but you're going to be receiving all this knowledge, all this intellectual thought leadership, all coming at you very fast. And so we want you to feel that you are retaining and digesting and processing all this amazing information, all this knowledge, all this wisdom that's being thrown at you. We want you to feel assured that you are holding on to it and will be able to apply it now and in the future. So these knowledge checks are a way of saying, hey, this week we learned this. Do you remember this? And you can say, oh yeah, no, I totally held on to that. And you can say, great, now moving on to the next module. So think of the knowledge checks not as a form of judgment, but as another form of support to guide you through your learning journey. So what can you expect each week? Each week you can expect, like I said, those assignments, knowledge checks, discussion boards, live faculty sessions, triad activities, cohort-based learning, all happening throughout this, all throughout the 6 modules of this program. Real-world applications, frequent communications from your program leader, and our students devote about 4 to 6 hours per week on this program. That is the range, not an average. So when I say 4 to 6 hours per week, I don't mean one student takes 2 hours and one student takes 12. 4 to 6 hours is the range. Now, that first point that I want to talk about for a moment is what we call bite-sized learning. What that is referring to is that a lot of online programs, their video, even though it's taught through video lectures, they might be not necessarily short enough to fit any schedule. So if I were to tell you that a course was 4 to 6 hours per week and it was a traditional synchronous on-campus program, 4 to 6 hours per week would probably be 2 or 3 in-person classes that were each 2 to 3 hours long. But obviously, the whole benefit of online learning is that it should be able to accommodate any schedule, no matter what work-life balance, work-life home balance, whatever you have going on, you should be able to accommodate your schedule with your online learning. So this program, the video lectures are 7 minutes, 5 minutes. Some videos are even 3 minutes long. So no matter where in your week, you can come up with 4 to 6 hours, even if it really is only 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. You can feel like you are really moving forward and progressing with your education through the Wharton School's Driving Strategic Innovation. So that's what bite-sized learning means, breaking it down so that it can accommodate any possible schedule. Now, upon successful completion of the program, you will earn a verified digital certificate from the Wharton School saying that you have completed this program. Now, this, because it's a verified digital certificate, it's great to put on your resume or on your CV and be able to prove to any present or future employers that you're invested in your education. And you never know, more than 3 million learners all around the world have access to Wharton online programming. So you walk into an interview room, you walk into a performance review with this, and it might turn out that one of the people on the other side of the table has also access to Wharton online programming. But what this is also really great for is putting on your social media, especially your LinkedIn. You put it on your social media, you're able to connect with other Wharton online students, but also you can find members of previous cohorts of Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact. You can find future students from future cohorts. And so that cohort-based learning that you will experience in this program, it will be able to expand because of this verified digital certificate. So our students find this to be a huge bonus, a huge feather in their cap, and they really love this ability to even further network and further connect outside their own cohort. So with that, program support is putting a link up in the chat box that you can click on to register for this program. The next cohort of Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact is starting soon. So please do not hesitate. Click on that link in the chat box. Click on that link in the chat box. Join the next cohort. If you have any additional questions at any time, you can always send them to wharton@emeritus.org. Again, that's wharton@emeritus.org. So please go ahead, click on the link in the chat box, register for the next cohort of Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact, offered through the Wharton School. Melissa, I am hoping, based on your 20 years of experience, just wanting to pick your mind about, because, a lot of people, when they think about driving strategic innovation, they're so limited in thinking to just the past 2.5 years. Like COVID has just been such a disruption, so that when people talk about like how we need to innovate, they only think of what happens in COVID. But this is something that's been important for the past 20 years. So, and even before that. So can you give a little bit of your personal insight into how important it is to be on the cutting edge of innovation, to be ahead of the curve?
Yes, absolutely. And we know of some of those brand names, right? So Kodak, for instance, years ago, Kodak was the leader in the industry. And then because they weren't innovative, because they didn't expand those horizons, they weren't as globalized as their competition, we just no longer hear about them. And so these companies have to always keep it fresh. And innovation's not just doing what everyone else is doing. They're the leaders in their field. They come up. So think back of like Apple. So Apple came out with this handheld phone, right? This smartphone, this iPhone years ago, even like 10 years ago. I didn't know I couldn't live without mine. They told us as consumers that we needed it. And then it happened. That's innovation. They come out of the box saying, this is what the consumer needs. And we're going to be the leader in producing iPhones. And now it's like, gosh, what would we ever do without our handheld phones, right? And there are people trying to get into the same space. And so you have to always continue to improve. With a globalized world that we're in right now and all these ecosystems that Professor Singe talks about, it's really important to be innovative. It's also really important to look at that strategic roadmap And that roadmap used to be, what are we going to do in the next 5, 10, 15 years? Now it's more like we need to keep up with it. Every 1 to 2 to 3 years is when we need to be looking at that strategic roadmap and make sure it's aligned throughout our entire organization and that we're relevant. And so this program is so timely, just not only because of what we went through with the pandemic, but because of what we've gone through the last 20 years since internet, really, and now the way that we do business is so vastly different. Our organizations, the structure of our organizations have changed. So we have to be relevant in today's time and being smarter about the way that we do business. That's why this program is so, so important, to be on the cusp of it, right? To make sure that you are, as a company, a leader in your field, in your industry. And then what exactly does innovation mean? I worked for a school years ago that they thought getting whiteboards was innovative. And I was like, man, schools have been doing that for years. We're just catching up. That's not innovation. This is, what are we going to offer people that they don't even know they need yet? We're filling a need that they don't even know about. So that's what innovation is all about. And to be able to broaden that and look at that for the next 6 modules is such a treat. And of course, Wharton has the best of the best faculty behind it and the best research behind it.
And I want to pick up on what you said about the fact that this is about strategic innovation, because just for as many good examples, like what you talked about during your presentation, for every Steve Jobs example we also have an example of someone who is just like, oh, this is new, like companies just chasing the new toy, and they put all their money into this untested thing because they lacked the strategic innovation. It's that ability to say, okay, where are we going with this? Why are we adopting this? I feel like when we talk about strategic innovation, the strategic is almost more important sometimes than the innovation, because there's always, especially now what you're talking about with technology changing all the time, there's always some shiny new toy. There's always some brand new product. There's always some new technology. And everyone says, oh my goodness, we need that. And sometimes it's not that you need the new technology, it's how are you going to use it for your company? And we have just as many examples of that, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look at Netflix as an example. So Netflix and Blockbuster, and if you're younger, you may not even remember Blockbuster is, but they were the leader in entertainment. You had DVDs that you got to watch movies, and you went into a box store and went into the brick and mortar store and rented a DVD. Well, Netflix came through and said, you know what, we can do that better. We're going to use the US Postal Service, and you can order online because the internet was out. You can have an account and you can pay for DVDs and not have to wait as long. We all had to wait, but it was, then you had streaming. So they embraced technology. They didn't invent technology. They embraced it and was innovative in the way of thinking with their strategy. So then they went and said, we're going to stream entertainment where you can have an online presence and be able to download and watch live different, videos and such. And, and they continue reinventing themselves in a way of how they do business because of technology. So in the example of Kodak and Blockbuster, both, they didn't embrace the new technologies of what was coming through in innovating or reinventing the way that they do business to keep up with times. So that's part of that strategy, is making sure you're relevant all the time and that you continue to improve, because it's going to be demanded from the customers. They want the latest and greatest, the shiny new toys.
Yeah. Those were such, for me personally, such powerful examples, Melissa, because I actually grew up near the huge Kodak factory in Eastern Massachusetts. And it just was this massive complex that took up like a huge stretch of highway. And it was just this behemoth, like something out of a comic book. And then just one day it was like people didn't drive there anymore, and you just saw it slowly go away. And now it's a shopping mall. Now it's like a few big box stores, like you were saying. And also, I am old enough. I spent many evenings as a child at Blockbuster. I am that old. So thank you for that, Melissa. Do you have any final thoughts about Wharton? Any final thoughts about the program? Anything with your 2 decades of expertise and wisdom? Anything you want to leave with our students before we say goodbye?
Not so much, except, just reinforce this is Wharton also. This is not just your community college course or something online that you're just buying. This is Wharton faculty and research behind it. That certificate is amazing to be able to put that on your wall or put it on your LinkedIn, say, look, I've gone through this program. But you're also adding value to your current position or your future position. You're adding value to your workplace by going through this program and furthering your education. Hats off to you for wanting to do that. That's amazing, especially when we're all so busy. To take that time to better yourself is such an amazing accomplishment. And then to have the Wharton name behind you in your education, you just can't do anything better.
Thank you so much, Melissa. So friends, with that, program support is going to be putting that link back up in the chat box that you can click on to register for the next cohort of the Wharton School's Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact. And as always, you can send your questions at any time to wharton@emeritus.org. I want to thank Melissa Graham so much for her time and her expertise today. Melissa, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you all so much for being here as well. Thank you for giving us an hour of your time for this overview webinar for, again, the Wharton School's Driving Strategic Innovation, Leading Complex Initiatives for Impact. So thank you all so much. We hope to have you in the next cohort. We hope to have you in the next class. But until then, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you soon in the course. Thank you all so much, everybody. Bye-bye now.